Hello, hello, hello.
Hello.
Hello, hello.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Content Creators Connect. Here we are all about encouraging the three C's, connecting with others via video, content development that builds your personal brand, and creators sharing their experiences despite their distance.
And the C3 team member who's leading this evening's discussion is Dori, known to everyone as DSpence, and is using her superpowers to install confidence around in those around her, as well as becoming techsperts in their own adventures. Dory, how the topic that you've come up with is so very interesting for me because our last few weeks we've been just talking about AI. So, using a service like ChatGPT, what have you discovered about the advantages and sort of, I don't know if there's any disadvantages of using AI like ChatGPT to build your brand?
Well, it's interesting. With anything that we do in the content creation world, there are always advantages and disadvantages, pros and cons. But I will tell you this: I am someone who has paid a designer to help craft a brand in the past. And I know the value of both knowledge and budget. So I used my own branding experience to test the waters in ChatGPT. And to be honest with both of you, I was incredibly and pleasantly surprised. So, this is something that someone with absolutely zero knowledge of business theory, color theory, writing mission statements, value propositions, or hell, even knowing what those terms mean, you can walk into this with having just an idea and no background knowledge, and you can use AI like ChatGPT to establish a basic brand model that you can actually launch with today. So it's pretty stinking cool. So I have a question for you though, Manny. Have you had any experience with the more physical branding pieces, such as writing a mission statement, even crafting a color palette to use as part of your branding experience?
Great question. The mission statement, absolutely. Writing down goals, absolutely. But creating a color palette, you lost me there. Yes, I know exactly what you're referring to. I've never created a color palette. And I'm familiar with it, if I'm understanding correctly, putting together a bunch of colors to create your brand, and then you'll have like that hashtag code with as for your color parts of it. I use that in Canva for a lot of my clients, but they're giving me that. But what I do use, like, maybe I like the color of this, and tell me if this is along those lines. I like the color of this. I'll use a particular extension that will literally tell me what color that it's using with the hashtag, and that hashtag a color palette itself.
So the hashtag is actually what's called a hex code.
Okay.
So that's a value code. It's like when a computer speaks in binary. I know I'm getting super geeky right now, but a hex code is a color language, just like an RGB color code. There's CMYK codes. I'm going to show you a tool that actually allows you to take suggestions from the AI and build an actual color palette and mess around. I do warn you
Oh.
though, you will lose hours of your life messing around with this tool. I promise you.
Are you speaking from experience, I take it?
And maybe.
Kevin, what about you? Like, have you actually gotten right there, wrote it, get paper there, pen there, and wrote down that mission statement yourself, or, created a color palette in your business or brand?
Yeah, I've actually sort of dabbled in it. Haven't become an expert by any means, but yeah, I've definitely gone with the mission statement, the goals, that sort of thing. But the color palette, I've only identified sort of one or two colors not an actual palette. And I'm interested to hear what Dori has to say today about sort of color theory as well, about what colors actually pair well with your brand that you want, so that it actually will pop out and get people's attention, as opposed to some pairing of colors that actually just clash with each other, and just when you look at it, you go, ugh, it just something is wrong about it. So I'm super excited to hear what Dori has to say tonight about all of that.
That's
So
super awesome.
so if this is a type of content that you'd like to see more of, please consider hitting that subscribe button and that notification bell so that you do get notified when we go live. So now, why don't we hear all this awesome nuggets of wisdom from Dori?
Well, before we begin, we have to say hello to Anna, who is joining us tonight. Hello,
Hey, Anna.
Anna.
Hey,
Hello,
Anna.
Anna.
Okay, so before we delve into exactly what's happening here with AI and creating a brand package, we are going to talk about how the AI is transforming the branding process. There's a couple things that I personally believe we need to understand first, fundamentally, about the idea of branding. So the backbone of any brand is its mission statement. And for those that don't necessarily understand what all of these terms are that we're throwing around, a mission statement is a very succinct phrase, and it defines the purpose of a brand. It defines why it exists and basically what you're planning on doing as a company, as a content creator, as a brand. After that, after you develop a mission statement, you then want to develop what's called a value proposition. A lot of people get these two things confused, and they think that the terms are interchangeable, and in fact, they're not. Just by pure definition itself, a value proposition does exactly that. It explains to your audience the value that you bring to them. What problem can you solve for them? And what benefits can they expect from becoming part of your tribe? So those two ideas together are what help you to communicate in a common way, using common knowledge, common language, and hopefully attracting an audience to you because of those two ideas. But then you have the visual aspect of your brand. What people most think about when they think about the idea of branding, and that's a visual look, which includes your colors. Okay. Now, here's where people start to get really lost. When you think about brand colors, you automatically think, I don't have any idea of color theory. I know absolutely nothing about artistry or any of that. And you immediately feel overwhelmed. But here's the thing, and this is something really important to remember. It doesn't matter what your knowledge level or your artistic ability is. We all know as human beings that colors, like music, like we talked about last week, colors can help evoke a mood. They can help evoke emotions. And with the combination of all of these things together, it creates a perception about who we are and what our brand represents. So all of these elements, they work in harmony to create a powerful and hopefully memorable brand identity. So I just wanted to cover all of that. And I want to talk briefly about how AI actually fits into this whole picture. So AI, as we all know, as content creators that always have our thumbs on the pulse of everything, we know that AI is being recognized across multiple industries. And the branding industry, it's no exception. Our AI tools that we have at our fingertips can analyze so much data and offer insights that we sometimes as humans, well, we might miss it. And so AI can become a very invaluable tool in the creation of your brand. So speaking specifically regarding mission statements, an AI's algorithm can analyze mission statements, successful mission statements from various industries. They can identify commonalities, they can pick up on patterns, and they can help generate a mission statement that is unique to you, of course, based on the prompt that you give it. And it does this in a way where it uses natural language processing so that it can make sure that the mission statement you create is exactly what it needs to be. It is clear, it is concise, and hopefully it resonates with the target audience that you've identified. And if you have not identified a target audience, have no fear, it can help with that too. So when it comes to creating a unique value proposition, which is step 2 in the branding process, it can also help to use data to understand consumer behaviors, market trends, and it can even do what's called competitor analysis. And for those of us that are on YouTube, we know that that's something that there are tools in place in YouTube to help us with all the time. So using AI like ChatGPT is just taking that to another level. So using this information at its fingertips, its virtual fingertips, AI can help craft a value proposition that clearly communicates the unique benefits that you can bring to your audience. And then lastly, the world of color. I get really excited about color. I'm just super geeky about it. I love messing around with color palettes. And to me, personally, it's just very fascinating because I know firsthand how each color can help evoke different emotions and also different perceptions from the viewer. So AI can analyze the psychology behind colors. It can help select colors that best align with your brand's values, the emotions you want your audience to feel, the expectations they have for you. And it can also help you analyze what colors specifically work best together in a palette in your brand. It's pretty freaking amazing, I'm not going to lie. So we are right now going to take a look at some examples of ChatGPT creating a brand. And we should be right there. Are we there? We are there. Sweet. So what I've done is I've taken a few examples of ways that you can craft prompts for ChatGPT. And so I have several examples over here on the left that I just want to quickly point out a few things based on my own use of it. And then Kevin, this guy right down here, is going to be our live guinea pig, and we are going to actually give ChatGPT some prompts and watch how quickly and succinctly it generates some brand information for Kevin. So the first thing I want to point out is on the screen right now, I have a prompt up here at the top, and it reads, if I create live streams around the concept of motivation, pushing yourself, and looking at life through a lens of reality, what would be a good mission statement for me? And it gave several choices. To inspire and empower individuals to push themselves beyond their limits, to live life to the fullest, and to face reality head on. Through our daily live streams, we strive to motivate and encourage our audience to take control of their lives and achieve their goals. That's great. That's a great start for someone who hasn't really thought a lot about the heart of their business. So if you think about that, this is a great starting point for you. It's giving you language. It's giving you ways that you can further prompt the system to make this more unique and use language specifically to you. As you guys know, I use the term peeps all the time to refer to people in my audience. So what I would do in this case is I would ask ChatGPT to utilize some of that primal branding language that has become part of who I am. So as you can see, it does give you several options. Now, here's something that I did specifically because I wanted to add more of me into the mix. So I went back to ChatGPT and I said, can you rewrite those mission statements to include that I like to add comedy and sarcasm to my streams? And then it did, and it rewrote them. And here's just another example of the first one. Our mission is to empower and inspire individuals to push themselves beyond their limits, all while keeping things lighthearted and entertaining through our use of comedy and sarcasm. Our daily live streams are here to motivate and make you laugh while encouraging you to live life to the fullest and face reality head on. So it's very black and white in certain regards. It takes your prompt, and depending on the quality of your prompt is the quality of what you're going to get back. Now, I did this one quite a while ago, and I've played around with it ever since. So if I go down here and I was asking about the difference between a value proposition and a mission statement, and then I said, can you look at the mission statements you suggested above and craft a value proposition for me? And here's a value proposition. One of the examples, it gave me 5. We provide daily inspiration and motivation to help you push beyond your limits, all while keeping things lighthearted and entertaining through our use of comedy and sarcasm. That's kind of dry for my personality, but it's a great starting point. And that's one of my takeaways I want you to get from this evening is AI is a great starting point for people that have absolutely nothing on a piece of paper. They have nothing written down. They are not sure where to start with a brand, but they have an idea in their head. They just don't know how to express it. This is a good starting point. So that was my first attempt. And then I went into a few others. So what would be a good 5-color palette to use for a branding kit for someone who is high energy, quirky, and focuses on mindset and motivation in her streams? Which I think is a pretty good description in general of who I am. So here's a palette suggestion that might work well for you. Now, this is what I want to point out. It gives you the name of a color, and it gives an explanation of the color and why it's suggesting it. What it is not giving me at this point is a hex code. So it's saying bright yellow, energy, optimism, and positivity, which matches the brand personality. Vibrant orange, and it continues to explain all 5. Okay? And it says, remember, color can greatly affect perception, so it's important that these colors align with the brand's overall message and target audience. So then I said, well, can you give me the hex codes? And those that would be working well together on a color wheel. So here they are. And they gave me the hex codes, which is where this other tool comes into play, which I'm going to show you right now. So I'm going to just double click on this hex code and I'm going to copy it. And then I'm going to come to this website called Coolors. It's COOLORS.co. I should have probably put that up on screen. Coolors.co is the name of the website. And I have the free account. I do not subscribe, although you can to get rid of these ads, but you don't need to. So if you hit the space bar, it will just constantly and randomly generate color palettes that work together. This is why I say you could get lost for hours. I actually kind of love this one, so I'm just going to hit save. And I'm going to say neutral light palette, just because that kind of is what it evokes. So now let's take that color that ChatGPT gave me. So I'm going to click here. And if you notice right here in the bottom corner, there are several ways that you can identify a color that you want to show up in your palette. And this is what I was talking about, Manny, when I said all the geeky acronyms like CMYK, RGB, okay? I use the picker option, and then that way it allows me to just paste my code in there, okay? So now there's a couple things that you can do. You can literally copy and paste all 5 colors that were suggested so you could see what the palette looks like from ChatGPT, which is what I'm going to do right now, just so we can see what kind of palette it's generating for us. And this is literally just me bouncing back and forth, clicking and doing a copy and paste. So that's the palette that it's suggested to me. Now, let's say, for example, I don't like this yellow, but I do like everything else. So what I can do is I can click this lock right here. And what that does is it holds that color in place. And now I'm going to hit the space bar. And it's going to give me a color that works with the rest of the palette that I've created, but is a different tone. So you can see how this becomes valuable. Now, Manny, what you mentioned early on was you see a color that you like, and then you have an extension that helps you identify what it is. So if you have a color that you like that you want to start with, use a hex code generator. You can use like a color sampler. There's all sorts of tools that exist that can get you that hex code. You put it in here, you lock a single color, and then you let the program do the rest. So like, let's say I really like this turquoise color. I'm going to unlock everything else. It will focus on the one color that you've saved and create a palette around it. So, that's just one example. So then what I did was I said, can you analyze and compare these colors for me? And again, what I want to point out and stress is that I might have some knowledge of color theory, but you may not. So ChatGPT will do the work for you. So this is what it did. It literally told me, based on the 5 colors it suggested, which colors to use together and how they work together. So bright yellow and vibrant orange are analogous on the color wheel, meaning they are adjacent to each other and share a primary color. This gives them a natural harmony that is pleasing to the eye. And then it explains turquoise and orange are complementary. That means they're across from each other and they create high contrast. So you can literally ask it to go into detail. So right here, for example, use the complementary colors of orange and turquoise to draw attention to key elements. Use the analogous colors of yellow and orange for a harmonious background. Boom. No color knowledge whatsoever, and ChatGPT just told me how to blend those 5 colors together and how to use them in things like YouTube thumbnails, website headers, you name it. The sky's the limit. So this can get pretty amazing. Here's another example. Oh, wrong one. So what would be a good 5-color palette to use for a branding kit for someone who is high energy, quirky, focusing on mindset and motivation, which was my original prompt. But notice I added a very specific statement at the end. The palette should include purple and green. Boom, it does it. Vibrant purple, what it represents, lively green, and then I ask it again to generate hex codes for me. And it was just simply a matter of plugging it in and letting the system work its magic. And Manny, to answer your question, do you use that in any of your branding? Well, you tell me if any of these colors look familiar to you. Out of those 5 colors, do any of them look familiar to either of you? I think you're muted.
I knew I'd forget. Yeah, I am seeing the purple. I am seeing I see a different version of a green. I do see, is that a blue like teal or something?
Like a turquoise, yep. So these
Okay,
are 3 colors that I use a lot.
So
And
you asked this to generate that. It already matched that with your personality, that you already had the background already. Like, you can tell that it matched you pretty well.
Correct. So the brand specialist, who is one of my former students, who is a graphic artist, who helped create my brand colors several years ago now, based on what she knew about my personality, what she knew I wanted to convey to my audience, created a grouping of 5 colors, which included a purple, a green, a turquoise, 2 shades of green, one for like a darker for contrast and a lighter for like emphasis, and a pink. Which, if you look at some other suggestions, pink is suggested. So here's another example, and then we're going to move over to Kevin's. I just want to show you that you can craft so many different prompts for ChatGPT. So what I did was I crafted a prompt that surrounded things like my personality characteristics and adjectives that you would use to describe me. Okay. I crafted one about just an idea of a motto that I live by, which it did a great job of. And I also asked it to generate one based on an introduction that I use in my videos for my tech coaching, okay? So can you create a brand package that revolves around an introduction to videos like this? And this is exactly what I say at the beginning of those videos. Hey, peeps, my name is Dori Spencer, aka DSpence, your friendly neighborhood geek, helping online entrepreneurs and creators just like you easily understand technology so that you can gain confidence, grow your vision, and unleash your superpowers on the world. So that's how I intro my videos. So it created an entire brand package, a name, a tagline, suggestions for what a logo would look like, and colors, bold, vibrant colors, sense of energy, excitement. It tells you about typography, which you can then dive down that rabbit hole and ask it to give you actual typeface, font, name suggestions, and it will. What kind of voice should you use? Friendly, enthusiastic, knowledgeable, conversational language. Like, seriously, this rabbit hole, guys, like, you cannot unsee what you are seeing right now. It's just one of those things. And then you ask it things like, can you craft a 5-color palette that includes the purple and green based on the brand suggestions above? And here it is. An electric blue, a vibrant purple, a black for a contrast color, a bright green, and then a light gray. And in another variation, it gives you fuchsia pink instead of a light gray. Gives you a mission statement, value proposition. And please know, like, look at this terminology. We are your friendly neighborhood geeks dedicated to helping you easily understand and navigate the ever-changing tech landscape. Like, that's insane. Okay, that is absolutely insane to me. So, as you can see, there are a lot of ways that you can prompt ChatGPT. Okay, another way, I gave a profile of myself, fully described myself, name, age, gender, occupation, and what my goal is. Okay, so if you're that general, you can start there. There's just, guys, there's so much here. It's insane, absolutely insane. I feel like what I should do is take some screenshots of these and drop them down in the comments of the video so people can see this and see
This
the
is
results of
great.
it. But what I want to do is I want to move to Kevin. Kevin is our real life guinea pig. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new chat. Now, I do subscribe to ChatGPT. I think it's a business tool that if you have the ability to do so, by all means, it gives you access to it even when the server is busy. But for the purpose of this, we are going to use the free version of the model. We're going to use 3.5, not GPT-4. So, Kevin, I had asked you to send me some stuff so I could just copy and paste it, which you did. So what I would love to do is I want to start with the one that you talk specifically about a color palette. So I'm going to copy what you sent me and I'm going to paste it in here. And I'm going to just add a good 5 color because I like 5 is a good palette size. And it's literally generating all of this so quickly. So for a branding kit that reflects high energy and kindness, incorporating green and white as key colors, notice it says key colors because those are the colors you chose. Here's a suggested 5-color palette. Vibrant green, pure white, sunshine yellow, calming blue. So calming blue. Add a cool, calming shade of blue to balance the vibrancy of the other colors. It represents trust, stability, tranquility, and provides a sense of calmness while maintaining the energy of the overall palette. So now I would just say, please generate hex codes for these suggestions.
I'm surprised it didn't come up with neon pink.
So again, you take these, you dump them into. Now, also keeping in mind that, you know, screen resolution and other things play a role in seeing these colors work together. So my screen resolution and my color scheme settings might be a little bit different than yours. So there's a suggested palette. And if there's certain colors you love, you keep them. And if there's ones that you don't like, you don't, and then you hit the space bar and let it do its work. Can you suggest how these colors might be used together in harmony on a YouTube video thumbnail?
So would they use these colors as like background and colors of text as well?
So this is what it just suggested. It would suggest using the vibrant green as the background color.
There we go.
And then it would suggest the title text would be pure white. Accent elements, sunshine yellow, to highlight important elements. Playful orange for your icons, call to action. Like, this is This is crazy to me. This is absolutely crazy to me. Short of it generating the actual thumbnail itself, like it has told you exactly where to put each color to make the most harmonious, most vibrant, most standout thumbnail you can. So, I mean, that's just one example of looking for a color palette. And then, so here were some of the others that we generated for Kevin. So Kevin is an IT professional who streams to share the importance of being kind and bringing positivity into the world. My goal is to create a YouTube channel that engages the audience into giving their time or donations to charities that are near and dear to them. It generated a mission statement for you based on that. Whoa, that is very, very big. Mission statement, value proposition, and a color brand palette. Notice in this case, it went so far as to tell you which colors to use as a primary, a secondary color, and then which colors to use as accent colors. So, and then I asked it to explain why it chose those colors. So just take a look at the first one, amber, warm, energetic color, signifies enthusiasm, creativity, and optimism. Like, we could mess around with this tool all night. And I mean,
that's pretty
I
awesome.
messed around with it for days and days and days. But so just to kind of bring it back around for you guys, you know, their AI is literally reshaping the branding landscape. It's offering unprecedented possibilities. So the use of AI in branding is not just about the technology itself. It's about understanding, connecting, and engaging with your audience in what I believe to be the most effective way, because it helps you understand things that you haven't studied. You're not an expert in color theory, but ChatGPT helps you understand why it's suggesting the colors that it is. So I'm curious to hear how you both might use this moving forward. Manny, let's start with you.
Honestly, Dori, so as you know, I have a social media agency. As you know, I do a lot of social media marketing and marketing in general. Literally, you just showed me how I can easily help my client myself, or at least internally, where I can just easily go to this great tool and just enter in a few facts about this person and then get some ideas and then take it to the end user and be like, hey, what do you think about these ideas we came up with? I think that is so simple for any marketer who's looking to brand themselves and just don't even know where to start. And if you think about the mission statement, my gosh, you can keep redoing it till the one sounds perfect for you. So when I think about exactly what it is that you have shared here, this is a no-brainer that the average person can put this to use if you're doing anything on social media, any type of branding of your own self. Dori, you literally killed it again. And here's the best part of this. What you shared again is like, oh my gosh, right now you can get this all done for free with even the coolers part. Like, there was no subscription fee there, was there?
No.
You literally brought so much value to this table. Great, great job. Kevin, what about you? What about you there, Kevin? What do you think?
I thank you for making me lose about 6 to 8 hours tonight of me going down rabbit holes with all of this wonderful tools and everything, because this could not have come at a better time for myself, because I am actually in the middle of starting up branding for another channel that I have going on. So this
Awesome.
is ideal. I have the tools using Chat GPT, we have our mission statement, but we really haven't associated any colors with it. So now to be able to use the color theory and make sure everything sort of matches up is, oh, just golden nuggets of wisdom here. And yeah, just I am looking forward to watching this replay over and over and over again, and just diving and making my own notes, because I wasn't taking notes as I was going along. I was actually on the Cooler site playing along with it while you were doing it. So it is an amazing tool. Um, and once again, AI does so much stuff so quickly that you've relied on other services for. So it's becoming a very all in one, sort of a one stop shop for your entire brand, which I am so excited to be able to have that kind of, you almost have that kind of control over it, because you just alter your prompts just up that tiny bit to come out with the exact color, brand, that sort of thing, as opposed to sending it out to somebody, having it sent back, giving revisions, and then just all that back and forth. This is instant and immediate. So
And
I
I love
absolutely
that
love
you can go back and forth with it. So it's almost it's
Like
conversational in nature,
refining.
and that's the part that I love. Okay, take what you just gave me and now change it so that it says this, you know. And just for everyone's point of reference, I did drop the actual link for the Cooler's website on the screen. So if people want to
perfect.
write that down or type it into another window, you guys can do that. But Anna said, I had her comment up once, I just want to put up again. English is not my first language, and running my value proposition and mission statement through it gives me confidence. And then she followed it up with this. And Anna, I love you. This made me chuckle. She said she usually has to give it to a friend or even her daughter, and they take their sweet time because they're not on the clock, right? They're friends and family. They get to work on their own time. But yeah, I mean, the potential here is absolutely outstanding, outstanding for people to dive into. So I would encourage you both to, even if you have stuff built, test ChatGPT, which is what I did. I wanted to see if it came up with the same things that I already knew were part of my brand. And it
Well,
actually did.
as you know, like I'm still trying to figure out what kind of background do I want. So, like the way you did that can definitely help me see what could possibly match my personality. So, I love it. Like as I'm learning every single week, I learn more and more because we're all really diving into AI and learning, educating one another, and learning about
Yep.
different extensions and all that. And it's like where when you look at what's coming ahead, I feel like, thanks to the content, just like you shared, we're able to stay at the forefront of this craziness that has already started and I don't even think it's hit the tip of the iceberg yet. So it's
Not
like
even
you really
close.
stop and think, I think we all want to be careful of the dangers that come with this stuff as well, along with the positive side of it. You had one attorney who's already been disbarred or lost his job because he was using Chat GPT to come up with stuff, right? And then he came up with all these violations that caused him to get in a lot of trouble. So you can use this in a negative way that can cause you harm or problems, or you got to also be careful with the news you're grabbing, the information you're taking, and go back and ask yourself, okay, let me dig deeper. Does this even sound right? I'll do some things and I'll have to go back and realize, like, okay, that didn't come out right. I know that for a fact. So you really do have to take it with it's like the internet. Not everything you see on the internet's real, right? Look at all the
Right.
actors that die daily because someone else believed it and shared it, and then someone believed it, right? So it's like it's the same thing here again. So that's why I think, like, what you continue to bring to the table, Dori, is seriously, like, I go back and watch that eCam training you did a long time ago. It helped so much that before our meeting, I'm going to be looking at it again so that you don't have to give me every little rundown. You know what I mean? And maybe that's the teacher in you that makes this presentation go so well. But Dori, great job again. I know. Let me just stop.
Well, Dina, thanks for joining us. Appreciate the fact that you're with us. Oh, Anna, that's very sweet of you to say. I appreciate that. And Kevin, always. It's been a pleasure, but I think it is that time of the evening. And gentlemen, we are literally about to fade to black, so just be prepared.
My friends, you saw what she brought today, and this is the type of content we want to bring you over and over, because at the end of the day, it's about you liking this type of content. It's about you finding this content useful. And if you are liking it and finding it useful, we would love it if you like and subscribe to our channel. And sharing our content is also a great way to spread the love. And you can visit our website for all the information on how you can connect with us at linktr.ee/Content Creators Connect. We are on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter.
So as we've been going through this AI rabbit hole the last few weeks, if there is something that you would like us to dive deeper into, definitely let us know down in the comments below, and we will make a future live video about this as well. So anything and everything is open, and we are more than willing to help out in getting you the knowledge that you seek. So switch it over to Dori to wrap things up for today.
Well, thank you for joining Content Creators Connect, aka C3, tonight as we talked about using ChatGPT to create your brand. We return next Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern, where Manny will be sharing how to use ChatGPT to create unique content. We will be multicasting live to YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. So be sure to join us. Until then, we urge you to identify and lean into your 3 C's. Start today creating unique content that builds connections and breaks down those barriers. See you next week.
Bye. Thanks for joining.
Bye.